In April, the Pixies' latest album went straight into the UK top 10, confirming that despite growing acclaim in America, the British are more ready to have Pixies at the bottom of their garden.
We're an English label, you know, and based in London, and so our records got released there before they got released anywhere else, and we did a bunch of gigs there. We toured there all the time. So, I don't know. There seems to be more worship of pop culture in Europe, too. Rock and roll has a certain look in Europe. People have cooler leather jackets in Europe. Rock and roll is more of a religion than it is in America. In America, everyone takes it for granted because rock and roll's been around for so long. It's no big deal. It's like anything.
As for the Throwing Muses, who've just finished supporting REM in the States, they'd probably never have been noticed if they hadn't moved to Boston.
The music scene there is stronger than in Newport, Rhode Island. We wanted to be more in the middle of things.
We'd formed our band actually years before and done what we could within the circuits where we were working in Providence, where the Talking Heads are from. It was kind of a dying scene, and we knew that, so we made the move to Boston. We all lived in an apartment together, which I don't recommend to any band.
Disaster.
Outside there's a boxcar waiting. Outside the family stew. Out by the fire breathing.
The Pixies' preoccupations include mutilation, Dadaism, David Lynch movies and animals. But what really makes a good Pixies song?
Plotting, rhymes, definitely. That's really important. Because after all, pop music is mathematical and repetitious. And you can't write free verse unless you're U2. So, you know, you need some poetic structure, I think.
Signed like the Pixies to British indie label 4AD, the Throwing Muses aren't exactly aiming at the Bangles market. Still, their latest album, Hunk Papa, seemed rather more accessible than its predecessors.
We imitated everybody like everybody else does. That's just what you do, and within the confines of a pop structure, you create whatever originality you can, and eventually that process came so naturally that the originality was taking over, and the pop structure was just left by the side. It didn't seem to be very necessary. And so maybe sometimes that comes back now if that can draw people into what we created, but we had to explore the music without that for a long time.
In a fortnight's time in New York, the Pixies finally complete a tour of over 200 shows. But despite the hard work, they don't intend or expect to change the face of rock music.
Nah, kind of. It's too old. Too much of a business. It's 35, 40 years old. We can't do anything original, no. I don't think. So, if we can make some cool records, we'll be happy. Make a buck.